September 2025 has already started with another gut punch at the checkout line. The spike we saw in August wasn't a one-time shock. It was the warning shot. Prices keep climbing, supply chains are tightening even more, and the products that slipped quietly off the shelves last month are almost impossible to find now. Picture this: another rolling blackout during hurricane season, your fridge shuts down, and your local Aldi or Walmart is stripped bare within hours. Retirees living on fixed incomes, big families trying to stretch every meal, and young adults hustling to save money all feel the squeeze harder in September than ever before. Here's the truth: waiting another week could mean paying double or finding nothing at all. That's why you can't afford to hesitate. Subscribe, share this video with someone you care about, and take action right now while shelves still have stock to grab. Let's dive into the 10 overlooked grocery essentials you'll be grateful to have secured before September shortages get worse. Item 1. Pasta and noodles. Walk into any Walmart or Aldi this is September and you'll notice something subtle but alarming. The pasta aisle isn't as full as it used to be. Boxes that were stacked high in July are now patchy, and the price tags keep creeping upward. Most stores are charging between $1 and $1.50 per box compared to under $1 just a year ago. The reason? Global wheat supplies are under heavy strain. With poor harvests in Europe and shipping disruptions across the Black Sea, millers are rationing flour, and pasta factories can't keep up. Here's why this matters. Pasta and noodles aren't just comfort food, they're survival food. They're calorie-dense, cook quickly, and can turn a little protein or vegetables into a full meal for a family of 6. During a blackout, a pot of boiling water and a handful of pasta can feed everyone at your table. And here's the kicker: bulk pasta at Costco or Sam's Club, once a budget saver, is disappearing first as restaurants and schools rush to lock in supply by. Your move? Stock up now. Aim for at least 10-15 pounds per person, focusing on varieties with shorter cooking times like macaroni or spaghetti. Keep them sealed in airtight containers or Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, and you'll have pasta that lasts for years. Because once shortages deepen this September, pasta may shift from always available to gone overnight. And when the carbs run low, families will be hunting for the next affordable protein source. Item 2. Canned fish and protein. Tuna, sardines, chicken. This September, the canned goods aisle is feeling the squeeze, and not just for vegetables. Canned protein, especially tuna, sardines, and chicken, is disappearing faster than retailers can restock. At Walmart last month, I could still grab a can of tuna for under $1. Today, many stores are pushing closer to $1.25, and the multi-packs that used to be a sure bet at Costco or Sam's Club are being rationed or marked limit 2 per customer. Why the sudden crunch? Ocean harvests have been volatile this year, with both South America and Asia reporting smaller catches. Add in aluminum shortages driving up the cost of cans themselves, and you've got a double squeeze on both supply and packaging. For families, that means less affordable protein at the exact time fresh meat is skyrocketing in price. Here's where canned protein becomes a lifesaver. It's shelf-stable for 2 to 5 years, requires zero refrigeration, and can be eaten straight from the can during a blackout. A simple can of chicken mixed with pasta or rice turns into a meal that keeps everyone fed without the stress of perishable meat. Sardines and tuna bring the added bonus of healthy fats and omega-3s, nutrients that are tough to replace when your fridge goes dark. Pro tip: skip the fancy brands. Store-label tuna and chicken often come from the same processing plants, but cost 30-40% less. And whenever possible, buy by the case. A 24-pack of canned tuna at Sam's locks in today's price and saves you from paying double by Thanksgiving. Protein is critical, but what happens when even eggs become too costly or impossible to find? That's where the next overlooked essential steps in. Last week, I visited an Aldi on the south side of Chicago. The canned aisle looked half-stocked at best. A young mom was filling her cart with whatever tuna and sardines were left, while an older gentleman stood staring at the empty shelf tags. He told me he lived alone on Social Security and used to buy a dozen cans at a time because they were cheap protein. Now he could only afford 4, and even those cost more than last month. That moment hit me. The shortages aren't abstract. They're already forcing people to make choices between food and medicine. Item 3. Powdered and shelf-stable eggs. Egg prices have been on a roller coaster all year, and September is no exception. In some regions, a dozen eggs that cost $2.50 in early summer now sells for $4 or more, and outbreaks of avian flu continue to threaten supply. Fresh eggs spoil fast, especially if your refrigerator loses power in a blackout. That's where powdered and shelf-stable eggs come in. They're one of the smartest long-term protein investments you can make right now. A single number 10 can of powdered eggs, available at Sam's Club or through bulk suppliers like Augustin Farms, contains the equivalent of 70-80 eggs. That's weeks of breakfasts, baking, and quick meals packed into a lightweight container that lasts 5 to 10 years when stored in a cool, dry place. For families, that means pancakes on Sunday mornings, scrambled eggs for protein, or emergency baking without worrying about freshness. Cost-wise, you're looking at around $25-30 per can, which might sound high until you realize it locks in a stable price, while the cost of fresh eggs keeps rising. And unlike cartons in the fridge, powdered eggs don't vanish the second the power grid goes down. Here's a pro move. Divide your stock into smaller mason jars with oxygen absorbers once opened. That way you're only exposing a small portion at a time, keeping the rest fresh. Pair powdered eggs with shelf-stable milk or even just water, and you've got endless meal options. Eggs are a cornerstone of nutrition, but when you can't rely on the fridge, the next best thing is vegetables that don't rot when the lights go out. Item 4. Dehydrated and freeze-dried vegetables. September shortages aren't just hitting flour and oils. Produce is getting hammered too. Weather extremes over the summer slashed fresh harvests, and by now you've probably noticed higher prices and smaller selections in the produce aisle. Frozen veggies helped fill the gap in August. But what happens when blackouts or freezer failures make that stock risky? That's where dehydrated and freeze-dried vegetables become game changers. Unlike frozen goods, these shelf-stable vegetables can last 10 to 25 years in sealed number 10 cans or Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. Carrots, bell peppers, peas, spinach, and even broccoli are available from brands like Augustin Farms, Thrive Life, or directly on Walmart's online marketplace. They may cost more up front, expect $20-30 for a large can, but when you do the math per serving, it's a bargain compared to tossing spoiled produce after a power outage. Preparation couldn't be simpler. Just soak in hot water for a few minutes and they're ready for soups, stews, stir-fries, or even side dishes. The best part? Nutrients are locked in at peak ripeness, often giving you higher vitamin content than fresh veggies trucked thousands of miles. Here's a pro tip. Rotate smaller pouches for everyday cooking while keeping bulk cans sealed for long-term emergencies. It's the perfect balance between daily use and crisis stockpiling. But flavor matters too. A bowl of plain rice and dried carrots will keep you alive. But without spices and seasonings, morale crumbles fast, especially in long blackouts. That's why the next category isn't just about taste, it's about survival psychology. Item 5. Salt, spices, and seasonings. In every crisis, people rush to buy rice, beans, and flour. But here's the overlooked truth. Food without flavor drains morale. And in September 2025, as prices climb and supply chains stumble, even simple spices are starting to vanish. Salt might seem like the cheapest, most abundant item in the store, but most of America's supply comes from just a handful of large producers. Any disruption, whether storms, strikes, or shipping delays, can empty shelves fast. At Aldi and Walmart, salt still sells for under $2 a container, but supplies are inconsistent. Pepper, chili flakes, garlic powder, and seasoning blends have also seen quiet price bumps of 10 to 15% since summer. Shoppers don't notice until suddenly their favorite blends are missing. Yet these little packets can transform a survival meal of beans and rice into something comforting and familiar. The value goes beyond taste. Salt is essential for food preservation, pickling, and electrolyte balance during hot weather. Herbs and spices can mask repetitive meals, keeping family morale higher in stressful times. That psychological lift is priceless when you're eating by lantern light during a blackout. Pro tip, Buy bulk containers at Costco or Sam's and transfer them into airtight glass jars to prevent moisture damage. Keep a mix of basics, salt, pepper, garlic powder, as well as comfort flavors your family loves. When shelves thin out, those jars will feel like treasure. So here's a thought. If shelves went empty tomorrow, would you rather face plain rice and beans every day or meals with enough spice to keep everyone's spirits up? Still, flavor isn't enough on its own. Families need liquids that provide hydration and energy when water alone won't cut it. Let me tell you about my neighbor, Maria. During last year's rolling blackout, she cooked rice and beans for her kids every night. By day 3, her youngest refused to eat. He said it tasted like cardboard. She broke out a small jar of taco seasoning she'd saved, and suddenly the same meal felt brand new. The kids ate without complaint, and Maria swore she'd never underestimate spices again. It wasn't just about taste, it was about hope. So let me ask, if you had to live on just a few staples, which seasonings would you refuse to give up? Item 6, shelf-stable juices and drink mixes. By September, fresh fruit prices are climbing again, and juice coolers in many Aldi and Walmart stores are thinner than usual. Parents who rely on orange juice for their kids' breakfast or sports drinks for hydration are already noticing fewer sales and higher shelf prices. A quart of juice mix that cost $1.25 in spring is now creeping toward $1.50 was $1.75. And multi-packs of Gatorade powder are harder to find in bulk. Why does this matter? During a blackout or supply crunch, plain water sometimes isn't enough. Kids and older adults need electrolytes, vitamins, and flavor to keep drinking consistently. Shelf-stable juices, powdered drink mixes, and vitamin C packets provide energy and essential nutrients without relying on refrigeration. They can also boost morale when the stress of eating survival food starts to wear people down. Pro tip, buy powdered mixes in bulk tubs at Sam's Club or Costco. They're cheaper per serving than bottles, lighter to store, and last for years if kept in a cool, dry place. A single tub can replace dozens of bottles and save critical storage space. Sweet drinks help keep energy up, but nothing beats natural sugar with near infinite shelf life. That's where honey and syrups come in. Item 7, honey and syrups. While sugar prices spiked sharply in August, September is showing another quiet trend. Honey and syrups are moving faster than most people expect. At Costco, a 5-pound jug of honey that sold for around $15 last spring is closer to $20 now. And Aldi's pancake syrup shelves are seeing empty spots by midweek. These items are not just sweeteners, they're long-lasting survival tools. Honey, if stored properly, never spoils. Archaeologists have even found edible honey in Egyptian tombs thousands of years old. Beyond sweetening tea or oatmeal, it doubles as a natural wound treatment thanks to its antibacterial properties. Syrups like maple or pancake syrup may not last forever, but they give quick energy, add variety to otherwise bland meals, and keep children eating foods they might otherwise reject. In times of stress, morale counts as much as calories. Here's the strategy. Buy honey in bulk from Sam's or Costco, then transfer portions into glass jars for easier rotation. Keep syrups sealed and stored in cool cupboards. And don't forget, honey also works as a barter item. In shortages, a jar of pure honey can be worth far more than its sticker price. Story break. During a winter blackout in Ohio last year, a family I spoke with ran out of jam for their bread. The kids refused to eat it plain, but their grandmother remembered a jar of honey she'd tucked away. That drizzle transformed dry bread into a treat, and it calmed the children through 3 long days without heat. Sometimes survival isn't just about food, it's about comfort. Natural sweeteners give you energy and morale, but families also need reliable fats and dairy replacements that won't spoil when the fridge goes out. Item 8, shelf-stable dairy alternatives. Evaporated milk, coconut milk, almond milk. Fresh milk has already climbed nearly 20% since early summer, and September shows no slowdown. A gallon that cost under $4 in June is now edging closer to $6 in many regions. For families who rely on milk for coffee, cereal, or baking, that kind of inflation hits hard. And when the power goes out, gallons of fresh milk spoil within hours. That's where shelf-stable dairy alternatives step in. Evaporated milk, coconut milk, and almond milk in cans or cartons can last 1 to 2 years without refrigeration. At Walmart or Aldi, you can still find evaporated milk for $1.50, $2 per can, and shelf-stable almond milk for under $3 a carton. These products not only extend meal options, but also substitute in recipes that would otherwise grind to a halt without fresh dairy. Coconut milk adds calories and healthy fats, perfect for curries, soups, and baking. Evaporated milk makes coffee drinkable and baking reliable. Almond milk can keep picky kids happy when regular milk isn't available. The key is to rotate. Use older cans in cooking while keeping bulk stocks sealed for emergencies. Pro tip: store cartons and cans in a cool, dark place. Avoid garages or hot pantries where heat shortens shelf life dramatically. A smart rotation of 12 to 24 cans ensures steady supply and shields your budget from future price spikes. With milk handled, the next survival boost comes from ready-to-eat meals that require little or no cooking when the lights go out. Item 10, shelf-stable snacks or crackers, granola bars, peanut butter packs. By September, shoppers are realizing that survival isn't just about calories. It's also about sanity. That's where shelf-stable snacks come in. Crackers, granola bars, and single-serve peanut butter packs aren't luxury items. They're quick energy and comfort food rolled into one. A box of granola bars at Costco that sold for under $10 in spring is now pushing $12, and Aldi's peanut butter jars, still one of the cheapest proteins per ounce, have jumped nearly 15% since July. In emergencies, these items shine. Crackers pair with canned tuna or soups for easy meals. Granola bars slip into backpacks for evacuations or power outages, providing a fast 200-300 calories when cooking is impossible. Peanut butter, with its high protein and fat content, is a morale booster for kids and adults alike, and it stays good for up to 2 years when stored properly. The strategy is simple. Stock multi-packs in bulk, then rotate steadily. Keep a case of granola bars in a cool cupboard, jars of peanut butter in airtight bins, and crackers sealed in Mylar bags if you want to extend shelf life beyond a year. And don't underestimate their barter value. When shelves are bare, a simple pack of peanut butter crackers can feel like gold. From staples like pasta and beans to morale boosters like honey and snacks, the smartest families are securing these essentials now. Before September, shortages cut even deeper. September 2025 has already proven one thing. Shortages don't wait until you're ready. We've watched pasta shelves thin out, canned protein creep up in price, and even basics like spices and honey quietly disappear. The families who planned ahead last month are breathing easier today, while everyone else is paying more for less. But here's the good news. You still have time. Stockpiling doesn't mean panic buying. It means buying smart, rotating your pantry, locking in today's prices before tomorrow's inflation, and choosing items your family will actually use. A few extra cans of tuna, a case of pasta, or a jug of honey could make the difference between calm meals at home and stressful nights scrambling for scraps. So take action now. Pick 1 or 2 of these items on your next trip to Walmart, Aldi, Costco, or Sam's, and start building your cushion. If you found this guide helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more updates, and share this video with someone you care about. Tell me in the comments, which of these 10 items are you grabbing first this month? Your answer might inspire someone else to start preparing before it's too late. Because the truth is simple. The best day to stockpile was yesterday. The second best day is today.